We are 50% female in all the creative roles, and our writer's room is 100% female.
Here it goes.
Hey everyone, it's me, Goose, coming at you live from the bowels of hell. So let's get into today's topic at hand, and that being Crunchyroll's new funky anime, High Guardian Spice, which, surprisingly enough, has nothing to do with opioid. But chalk that up on the jokes that have probably already been done bored. Oh well. So the controversy surrounding this little anime has to do with a certain little thing. That little thing is the portrayal of the show, or rather the trailer itself. It starts off very warm and fuzzy, using all those fruitful buzzwords we've all become familiar with when it comes to marketing these kinds of shows. While the trailer itself doesn't show off any actual footage of the show itself, it does show off a bunch of cool concept art, and it does seem to flaunt the studio and the team behind it, which very much seems to be an all-girls club. I mean, yeah, 50% female would mean that there are other genders there somewhere, I guess, but I wouldn't blame you if you have some very nervous flashbacks, as I did, to Ghostbusters when I first saw this. It's setting itself up to be this amazing studio run by girls because, you know, girl power and all that such. Now, before I bite deep into the meat of the issue here, that being, in my opinion, the scummy marketing stunt this trailer is clearly playing up, know that I personally have no issues with this studio whatsoever. The fact that it's comprised of mostly women is totally fine. In the male-dominated world of animation, it's good to have some female representation for the medium. I know me saying this is gonna trigger a bunch of assholes by saying,
the animation world isn't dominated by just men, you know. What about Rebecca Sugar? She's a woman.
Yeah, but she's like one of the few women who actually have a very important lead role as like an animated director. There is totally a bunch of women working for the animation industry nowadays, and that's cool and all, but the majority in power has been and still is male, so having one studio be mostly women is fine. And I don't think the studio itself is toxic or shitty, nor do I think there's any issue with what they do as a whole. My problem personally stems with the aforementioned scummy trailer. I don't know if you guys will agree with me on this or not, but I always thought that if you wanted to be accepted and be something more than what you've characterized your entire life to be, then you should try to be part of the norm instead of being the exception. When you're toting around about how you're the exception to something, like say how you're the only anime studio that's comprised of mostly women, which isn't true by the way, then you're not only alienating your audience base, but you're also taking the spotlight away from truly exceptional women of that medium. Take Team Siren for example, a League of Legends team that toted around how they were a bunch of badass female gamers who were gonna knock the socks off of their competition because they have big fucking tits. Then soon after, they were bombarded with a ton of hate, and I don't think anybody would have cared, like, at all, if they just treated themselves as a normal League of Legends team. I think everybody would have thought, oh, that's kind of neat that they have pretty much all females on their team, but the fact that they made themselves out to be this exception, like as if women could never be better than them or any other male playing the game, the fact that they flaunted their femininity as if they were saying that men don't deserve to be on top at all, made it seem toxic immediately. Now, of course, there's a ton about Team Siren themselves that don't actually make them the bad guys. Like, FYI, they actually didn't want the production company making this little trailer to make it this way. They just sort of ran with it without consulting the team members. But I think if you want to learn more about the Team Siren issue and the whole drama that went down with them, you should totally check out this amazing video made by Kudo in the description down below. The same thing seems to be happening here with Team Spice. Oh shit, my bad. High Spice Guardian Spice, fucking, I don't know, this show. It's fine that you want to make a show about a bunch of bubbly girls going to school learning to be guardians, and that's cool, whatever. Fucking Ruby has a major female cast and essentially does the same shit, but when you start adding into the mix politics, in essence feminism, I suppose then you start to go through a familiar territory that has already been worn to earth. Many people have walked the path before in media, again flaunting how they only have an exclusive cast member, or their members are very exclusive, be it an all-female cast or an all-black cast or whatever. But in the end, this will lead to people being shunned and alienated. Why flaunt how all your staff writers are women? Why not just talk about how talented all your writers are? A talent, in my eyes personally, certainly has no gender or skin color. talk about how incredibly friendly they are or how amazing they are as writers. You've already told me how this studio is delivering warmth with their creation, but telling me that your staff room is comprised of all women makes it seem that this studio is not actually looking out for others that don't have a voice. Again, like Hispanic writers or black writers or people with disabilities. They even said in the trailer that they want to represent diversity. They want to have diversity within the studio and diversity within the show, but how can you have that when it seems like you're only including one group instead of everyone? People have voices that need to be heard, but you're not allowing it because they're a different gender. Hell, what about those people who identify as a gender that's neither male nor female? Are you gonna accept their voices too? Do they count as women to you? What about the voices of a trans man? Will you allow him in your studio or will you not because he doesn't meet the quota of being feminine enough? Again, I don't want to make it seem like an attack on the studio itself. I'm sure the women are truly talented bunch, but I'm hoping they hire them because they were actually talented and the best at their job, and not just because they're women or of a different race or for diversity's sake. Yet this is not by any means a good way to start your company. By giving off this somewhat arrogant face that you're better because it's an exclusive club for women, you're setting yourself up for potential failure. If the show doesn't do well, it will be amplified by the fact that it was made by women. Now the show makes women look bad because it failed. That is assuming it will fail. That's the thing though, these are all assumptions. I don't know the inner workings of the studio itself. Maybe they did only hire for diversity's sake. Maybe they pushed away all their male staff just so they could look good for those kinds of people who almost always immediately go, yes, queen, feminism, whenever they see a vagina on screen. Or maybe they're really just a bunch of sincere women who just want to make a good goddamn show. Gender norms be damned. I just sort of wish they had a different approach to this. Even the whole females only club thing aside, there's still the issue of the way it touts the show itself. They talk as if this show is 1 in a million when really it's a dime a dozen. I'm sure all of you can name at least 3 other shows that also involve a bunch of magical schoolgirls who go into school to be a magical schoolgirl to become an even biggerer magicaler schoolgirl. In the end, I'm hoping what I'm saying isn't too unreasonable. Like I said in the beginning, I highly doubt the people behind the scenes of this show actually give a shit about being an all-women's club. I'm sure they care very much so about their project and making their project and a really amazing product in the end. I mean, if they're more concerned about an all-girls exclusive studio, then I'll eat my words. But for now, I just think Crunchyroll's approach to this is manipulative and scummy. It was mishandled, just like, I don't know, most of other Crunchyroll shit. And I'm not really gonna get into that too deeply, but you know, whatever. But honestly, maybe I am being a little too harsh on this. I mean, yes, it may not be the most original idea ever, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the best show that it can possibly be. And yes, the whole feminism thing, I guess the female only cast thing is a minor gripe, to be honest. It's only the trailer that makes it seem like they're more nefarious than they really are, and I feel like most of the reactions to this have been overblown. I feel like more people are just upset that, oh, it's an only women cast, it's only diverse. They said they are gonna make it diverse and they only have women, rah, rah, rah. You know, it's like, let them only have women if they really want to. I'm sure many other studios and companies are hiring very young and eager white males or trans men or Hispanic or Asian or black. I'm sure many studios out there are looking for those kinds of talents. But right now they just want to focus on a female only voice, and that's fine if you want to. But I feel like, I don't know how to explain it, but there's definitely some sort of hypocrisy with touting the way you are and also excluding other people from your studio. And I guess that's really the problem with most people, but I don't know, I just feel like also some people are just overreacting. I mean, it is YouTube, it is the internet, not a lot of people are happy. Everybody's always angry about something. I don't know, maybe I'm just looking too deep into this. I just figured I need to say something about this, seeing as how mostly everyone's been talking about this shit since it was released. And I just wanted to give my own viewpoint on this. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And make sure to subscribe and like this video if you enjoy my shit. Support me on Patreon and Ko-fi. And hey, join the Discord if you wanna. Alright guys, I'll see y'all next time. Love y'all so much. Goodbye.